Welcome to Microphone Check with J and Q, where no topic is off limits. This honest and safe space was created for you to objectively evaluate the things in your life for the purpose of growth, healing, and success. I'm JB. This is Q. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Keeping my head up. Another day, another dollar, as they say.
Yes, sir. Well, obviously, I didn't go to work today.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
Since November, so I can't say another day, another dollar.
However, you know what? It was funny because that kind of goes into what's on our mind. That's the end stage of what we're about to talk about today.
Come on now.
You're retired, and that's where people are trying to get to, but you got to start somewhere, right?
Yes, sir.
So here's what's on our mind. Should college be the preferred option for high school graduates? Should college be the preferred option for high school graduates? As always, I'll go ahead and kick it off. My opinion, you kick your opinion off after that, then we'll go ahead and discuss. So off the cuff, I will say I was brought up with college being pushed into our faces, like my face, like your next step is always college. Your next step is always college at the high school. So I was brought up that way. However, as I was getting a little older, my dad being prior military, he brought in military. He said military is an option. So, and it's a real option. It's not just one of those fallback, like look, this, you can start your career off with that. So I will go off and say my opinion, short intro. My opinion is that college should not be the preferred option. It is an option, but it should not always be the preferred option for high school graduates as a general statement.
Okay. So I start by saying this, that there's a cliche or a saying that this should be the expectation and not the rule. I think that the expectation should be college, but not the rule. And the reason that I say that should be the expectation because I do realize that people and families come with their own set of limitations. And if there are those limitations, whether, it could be a financial need, it could be some type of disability or what have you, then obviously some expectation would not be met, which is why I say it could be the expectation, but not the rule. Making it a rule meaning that everyone should go through, this pipeline from school, from high school directly to college. And I don't think that is the path that everyone is on. Somebody actually said that if we had people who went and got degrees, then where would all our skilled laborers go? Who's going to do that job? So I think that college should be the expectation when we're training our kids in high school. We should have the expectation that we're going to train them for this, but also focus on other things as well. I believe that's probably why many schools have tech schools, if you will, or technology or trade schools, shall I say, within the compounds of the school. It's because we're trying to open up our kids' mind to other things, something that they actually may enjoy.
Something you said though made me pause a little bit. I guess I'll bring that to the forefront. You said that if everybody get degrees, then who would do some other labor kind of thing that you was talking about?
The skilled labor.
Yeah, skilled labor. So I do want to say in that part though, I don't want to make this expectation, or I don't want to build a perspective that if you don't have a degree, you'll be the skilled labor. Like you can not have a degree and be leadership. You can not have a degree and be an executive. So I do want to make sure that, at least from my perspective, that just because you don't have a degree, you're relegated to the skilled labor.
No, well, let me define skilled labor. Okay. Because skilled labor doesn't mean that you're going to be that executive or anything. When I say skilled labor, I'm talking about a trade that you have to be certified to do. Mm-hmm. So not everybody can go out there and be an electrician. Not anybody can go out there and be a plumber or work on HVACs.
Man, I know those from across the street that will hook your HVAC up.
And I guarantee you that it's not under warranty. His work is not warranted. And not only that, but does his work doesn't meet the code?
Yeah, I can't promise you that. I can't promise you that.
So when I say skilled labor, and that's why I intentionally use the word skilled labor, is because you have went through the laborious training of developing this trade, and you got a trade certificate. So that means you did go through a trade school with somebody that was instructing you, and you got hours doing this that was supervised and certified by somebody.
All right, I got you. Now, I would say with the benefits, right? The benefits of college. I look at the benefits of college. One of the benefits of college is I do believe by societal standards, mm-hmm. they look at college degrees as some level of commitment. They look at them for certain levels and positions. They do look at them for, like executive levels. If you work for somebody. Mm-hmm. So I believe that I believe the college degree will open up doors that could be closed to those without it. So mm-hmm. I don't want to look over that. So I think that's one of the benefits. Another benefit of a college degree may have nothing to do with employment, but it could benefit progression within the generations of your family. Mm-hmm. I remember when my generation started getting degrees that my parents' generation weren't getting. Mm-hmm. It was celebrated. A cousin that went to Duke, even type of college he went to, Duke. My cousin went to Duke. My brother went to North Carolina A&T, and it was like, oh, you going to these prestige colleges that we see people playing games on TV, basketball games with. You're going to that college, and then seeing that, those doors open up. It had a boost in our generation mm-hmm. because they went before me, and it kind of motivated me. Like, okay, yeah, let's do that. Some of the disadvantages. So those are two benefits I see. Some of the I don't say disadvantage, but non-benefits. I think one of those is that sometimes you get a degree, spend all that time, and then you're stuck. If you don't get scholarships or anything, you're stuck with the student loan.
Yeah.
Especially if you think that was your only option, is to go mm-hmm. to college. So student loans could be an issue too. Getting a degree, doing all that work, and staying up at night, eating ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every night, and you get the degree and you don't even work in your field. Yeah. So those are kind of like two pros and two cons. In my opinion, with going with degrees should be the preferred option.
Yeah. I guess I can also add to those pros and cons as well. But before I even go into the pros and cons, I do want to say that just because you have a degree does not mean that you automatically increase your earning margin. And I say that because there are people with degrees that make less than people that have skilled labor. I'm not sorry, it's a skill set rather. And I use myself for an example. And I know we talked about this kind of before we started the interview, military versus civilian. Yeah. But I'm going to try to even translate this though into the civilian perspective. A air traffic controller off the street, you can become an air traffic controller at the age of 18. So an air traffic controller off the street who go through either the academy or they go to the trade school in Oklahoma for those 6 months. Upon graduation, they can make anywhere between 70 to 120,000, depending on the level of ATC facility that they're going into.
ATC, air traffic control, right?
Air traffic control, yes, yes. We also have, like I mentioned earlier, we have a air traffic academy. So people go to the academy for 4 years and they get the degrees. Those people have the same earning margin. What changed? Other than the fact that one person committed themselves to 4 years of collegiate education, and during that collegiate education, they also learned to trade. The other one did 4 months of the technical school, if you will, and they were able to get in the field early on. Didn't have the tuition that accompanied college, right? They didn't have that, and they were able to go out there and start earning real money right away. So I just want to put that out there, that just because you have a degree does not mean that it automatically increases your earning margin. However, there are times where that could be the exact opposite, that having a degree could not only increase your earning margin, but it can also be the difference between you getting a job and not getting a job. If you have two people with the same qualifications and they're all competing for the same job, but one has college and the other one doesn't, who do you choose?
Probably the one with the college degree, right?
The one with the college degree, because for them, that says that that person has dedicated themselves to a higher level of learning. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that should be penalized. That's just my own personal view. I don't think that we should penalize someone because they did college and not a trade. And now when it comes to them competing for a job that doesn't necessarily require a college degree, and they're competing for this job with people who don't have one, I don't think that they should be penalized because they did go the extra step and they did get that degree. And who knows, maybe they tried to enter the workforce, but the degree that they had, which is probably a traditional degree, did not fit the needs of what the job force was looking for.
Right.
And that's different between having a traditional degree versus a professional degree.
Right.
But I'm off my soapbox on that one.
But you know, I look at like, okay, so once again, like I said at the very beginning, I would drop the preferred. I don't think there's a preferred option.
Yes.
I think it's an option. So you can, and I won't take anything away from going to school, because like I said, there's pros and cons with any path that you so choose. Going to college, you know, back when LeBron was went to pros directly, the debate was these kids need to go to college because if he gets injured, he won't have anything to fall back on because all he knows is basketball. Yeah, that could be a case, right? You get injured from a sport, football, basketball, pro sport, baseball, and then now what do you do now? And if all you did was go from high school to pros, one thing I say about college is that while you go to a trade school, you go to learn a trade, right? They're building you up on that only. When you go to college, you pick up other things. You know, you take those math courses, you take those English and writing classes, you take other things, and knowledge about your path you're choosing for your career. So you collect those other things as well. I mean, you learn philosophy, science, religion. You get all these other different courses that go along with it. Statistics, whether you like it or not. So you pick up these other things that will help you as you go through your path. But I say option because I took the path of the military. And to be honest, don't hate me, I'm still a veteran, but I didn't join the military to fight wars. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't go to be a gung-ho, fight a war. I accepted as a risk of joining, but I actually went and joined the military as a means to pay for my college. because I wasn't on point the first 4 years of my enlistment. I had to do another 4 years, but the end result was I was able to get my degree before I got out.
Come on now.
And in that was an option for me. My parents already had 2 kids in college, paying that money, paying money for them. Bringing in a third one would have been an expense to them because I didn't do well enough to get, or didn't even apply to do scholarships. So all of the financial aid and whatever's not covered by financial aid would come from my parents. So military was an option for me. But I believe military is an option whether you're trying to get your degree, whether you're trying to make a career out of it, or whether you're trying to figure out what do I want to do next. It could be a transitional point from high school to whatever's after that first enlistment. Just give you more time. You'll pick, like you said, you pick up a trade, you pick up something, you pick up leadership, and then you can go from there and say, now I'll push forward at the age of 21 or 22, whenever you finish your first term. So the military is one, from personal experience, the military is one reason why I had to say that, college should not be the preferred option, but an option, with military being as an additional one.
Yep. So a couple of things. One, thank you for your service. And I do count you as a veteran.
You're gonna hold it against me that I didn't go into the fight wars.
Yeah. Look. I did 22 years and I didn't sign up to fight wars either. So how about that? But no, I stand in agreement with you. And I don't know if we had this conversation before or not. I think we have. But when I first graduated from high school, I started on the track of doing college. And I was going to school full time while working full time. And it came to a point where I just felt burnt out because, like many families who are faced with sending a child to college, sometimes the finances are just not available.
Yeah.
And I knew that I didn't want student loans.
You knew that.
And so I'm faced with, what do I do? I was working full time to finance college, but then when you're working full time and you're going to school full time and you're still a child, at least in my mind, I felt like I had no life. It's like I worked, went to school, slept, and started all over again the next day, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, where is my time? I need time to go hang out with my friends. I need time to just go be a kid, or at least a teenager. And I just didn't have that. So like you, I like, okay, military it is. and I left school and I quit my job. I just left it all. That was my option. I was like, the military was an option to get me out of a place that I did not necessarily want to be. And when I say that, I don't mean this in a negative way, right? But I seen myself wanting to do something different in life.
Yeah.
And so I knew that in order for me to get there, that I had to do something different. I had to choose a different option. I didn't want to be the person that stayed home and did nothing with my life. So I said, okay, I'm going to try this military thing. And that's what I did. And like you, I did the military with the hopes of obtaining a degree while I was in. I did. May have taken me a little while longer than others, but I did get that degree. But it was an option. It was an option. I don't think that it was a preferred path either, because I'm not even saying that even the military should not be a preferred option.
Absolutely.
I don't think a trade should be a preferred option. I like what you said earlier when you said that I think the word preferred should be taken out. And it should just be, should it be an option? And absolutely it should. And and I'm going to stop being long-winded. I'm just going to say one more thing and I'll be done. So as you know, I posted this on my Facebook, and I had someone respond. This person's a teacher, and when she responded, she said that she do not teach her students that the only option is college. She gives them a plethora of things to choose from, and not only does she do that, but she kind of try to guide them towards what their skill sets are. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was incredible that you have someone who's a teacher, not even a child's parent, but has taken that much. What's the word can I use? Responsibility, if you will, for this child, for the child that she's educating, and say that, hey, my duty don't just end with me giving you the knowledge, but I'm going to add to this duty. I'm going to try to help guide you in the right direction based off of what I've seen you do in the classroom, and try to match your personality, your skill set, and even your learning ability to something that you can actually get on the path to do.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think in order, I'm glad you said a teacher, because that's where it's taught. That's where it's embedded into the minds of these future adults. You know, these kids that are becoming future adults, about college. And I believe even adults in general kind of put that pressure on them when you're about to graduate. The first thing when you're a junior or a senior, the first thing someone says is, what
college are you going to?
There it is. They don't ask you, what's your path? What plan you want to take? The first thing they ask, because the assumption is you're going to college. What college are you going to? And if someone says trade school, it's like, oh, okay.
It's like they're taken back from there, like,
You know, if you said military, you might get a better response. If you said, I'm going straight into the workforce, you may not get a good response.
You know, can I interrupt you for just a moment?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad you brought up something that I really wanted to highlight. During my son's graduation, the principal, before he actually began the ceremony, wanted all the students who had been accepted to college to stand up so that they can be recognized. And then those who had joined the military, he wanted them to stand up. And subsequently, members in the audience who were already in the military, he wanted them to stand in solidarity with those future service members. But the one thing that he did not do, and this is not the first time, because I went to many of graduation from friends in this area, and he's done the same things for years. And up until now, I never thought about it until you just brought this up. Not one time have we ever celebrated someone that says that, hey, I want to go do a trade.
No.
And literally that just crossed my mind. I was like, we never celebrated those who said that, hey, no, I'm not doing college or the military. I'm doing trade school.
And why shouldn't we? That's a path, right? That's a viable option for transitioning into your adulthood, a trade school. Mm-hmm. And what do you say? What do you say to those that just want to enter the workforce, entry-level workforce, still being a responsible adult, right? I mean, this is the path you chose as a responsible adult. So I believe out of all the options presented, the only option that I don't stand behind is the choice to not have a path.
Correct.
If a kid chooses not to have a path, at the graduation, you don't know if you're going to the left or right, you're not going to do anything. Then I'm like, okay, we need to work on that. But we have to celebrate those that have a path. You have a plan. It may be at this infancy stage, but you work on that, you develop that.
Yeah.
But you have to have a plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And well, I won't be long-winded either. But if I'm gonna be honest with the audience here, if I'm not being honest with the audience, I too, I'm not perfect. I too fall into, and occasionally I do fall in line with with society. So I am instilling in my kids, though, right, that as college as an option. And I talk about that. Your next phase. Think about now what college you want to go to. Think about your grades and where your grades stand in regards to you going to the next step in preparation for college. But I also listened to my son who said he wants to be a football player. That's an option. You got to work hard for that too. My daughter who may want to ride on unicorns because she's so young right now. Listen to that. And say, hey, that may not be a viable option, but like, but it's like you have to figure out what do you want to do?
Yeah.
How we can help nurture that, because at the end of the day, it might not be college, but I want to give you, as a parent, because I know there are options, I want to line you up with the options. I don't want you to get stuck with one thing. I don't want you to get poor grades to where you don't have an option to go to college. Poor physical strength that you don't have the option to join the military. Poor complacency and laziness that you don't want to do a trade school. So I want to build you to have the options, and then we can go from there.
Yeah. One of the things that I did with my children, by the time that they were entering middle school, my wife and I had them to sit down with us and give us 3 options, 3 things that they wanted to do in life. And what we did was we tried to help them align their classes around those 3 options. Now, we did realize, and that's why it was 3 options, we realized that as they got older, then perhaps those 3 options go together, or they may drop 1 or 2 of those options. But the thing is, we're moving towards a goal. So I think one of the things that as parents we can do is try to help shape our kids' decision by trying to guide them into things that we think that they want to do, or things that they said that they want to do, because I don't want it to be parent driven either. I don't think that our kids' desires in life should be driven based off of what we see for them, but it should be something that they want to do. So I think, like I said, I think one thing that we should be doing is start at an early age and begin to have those intentional conversations with them about things that they want to do. Write out a plan. Start working towards that plan, knocking out things that, and yes, things will change along the way. It happens. It's life, but it's their life. And as parents, we're not supposed to control that life, but we're supposed to try to help guide that life, right? And the other thing I want to say, and then I'm going to turn it back over to you, JB, is for those who do believe that that college should be the preferred option, my question to them would be, if college should be the preferred option, then should it also be a public option, meaning should it be public financed? Because not all kids have the same economic advantages, rather, that other has, right? So how do we pay for this if it's a preferred, if you will, option?
That's good. And then, and in closing, I do, and I know you probably experienced this too. Now that we have reached a certain age.
I'm young. I'm 41 years young. You know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Now that we've reached a certain age to allow history, allow time to develop a history. I'm sure we've seen with the people that we've been associated with in high school, grade school, whatever grade school, some that have went to college and have not found whatever success looks like, and some that have not gone to college and found what success looks like, and vice versa. Some people that go to college and they found that level of success that the world defined as success, and those that haven't. So I no longer say that college will lead you to success, because the fact that you get a degree does not automatically guarantee success. I'm not even sure that it gives you a better chance to success. So I'm gone away from society's idea of things. So ultimately, regardless of if any child or is listening to this, or even adult for that matter, there's options out there. Options are available, but it is up to you as a person. And for my Christian believers, a lot of prayer to God. But you have to define how hard you're going to work wherever you're working, what your work ethic is going to be like wherever you're working, what your commitment and dedication is like wherever you're working. Where's your drive to progress as you see fit? Where's your resolve to overcome the challenges that you have? So the options are available. The options are there, but it takes you as a person to say, do you want to reach whatever you consider success in the workforce? I know we could say success is just being alive today. I know that, I get it. But I'm talking about success in the workforce, in the workplace. Whether you're starting your own business, or you working for somebody, whatever preferred option it is, it all starts with you and how much you're willing to put into whatever craft you have. You have any final words before we close out?
No, I think you summed it up pretty well, brother.
So
yeah, you summed it up pretty well.
Thank you. So we challenge you as adults to not pigeonhole the next generation into saying college only. When you see somebody that's about to graduate, just ask them what they're planning to do, what are their options, and where they see themselves. Don't make them feel bad if they don't choose college. Celebrate if they go to college, celebrate if they go to the military, celebrate if they go to trade school, celebrate it if they go to the workforce, just straight to the workforce with a plan. Celebrate it and be part and be a cheerleader for them and a supporter for them. If they need your help, guidance, letter recommendations, whatever it may be there and support them in that cause. So I challenge you as adults to do that. And as future kids getting ready to graduate, I challenge you to line yourself up to have options. Don't pigeonhole yourself into just one thing. Keep your body physically strong and mentally strong to join the military. Keep your grades well to join college if you want to. Figure out a single path you want to go to, whether it's IT, HVAC, or whatever it may be. If you want to go to a trade school, whatever it may be, but keep that there. So this is what we challenge you with. And in saying that, this is Microphone Check with J and Q. Thank you for taking your time to listen to us share what's on our mind. Like, share, and subscribe. But don't forget to come back next week as we discuss the topic, how open should we be with our kids? How open should we be with our kids? I know some people want to protect your kids, don't let them out, shelter them. Some people probably say a lot, get them heavily involved, whatever it may be. We're going to talk about that next week. So we want you to come back. How open should we be with our kids? Until next time, peace, patience, power, and prosperity.